Hey Jen, here we go in your running analysis. And first thing I'll say is thanks a lot for coming out and taking part in it. I hope that you learned something in the process, and we've got a little bit of footage to go through here. I always like to start out by accentuating the positive in someone's run stride. And, we talked about this a little bit today, but one of your biggest strengths is actually literally your strength. And you're obviously built as a very powerful athlete. Um, and you use that strength as far as your running stride goes now, certainly to your advantage. Um, you are very relaxed, very smooth when you run. And yeah, I guess when I look at that strength, sometimes your strength literally can also be your biggest weakness, and that it can allow you to, sometimes try and overpower things that don't necessarily need to be overpowered. If running and if triathlon was all a strength issue, weightlifters would be the ones winning all the races instead of 120-pound Kenyans. So that's a little bit about what we're going to look at today, just in terms of efficiency and some of the things that we can shore up. So let's go ahead and get to it. And the first view that you've got here is just a straight on view in slow motion. Big thing that I'm looking for here is whether you're crossing over the midline when you're running. You're pretty good. I'm also looking at asymmetries from left to right, and your right arm maybe comes out just a little bit more than your left, but nothing that I would worry really too much about. This is what everybody rates as probably the most flattering view, and thank you for being a rock star and allowing me to put this out there. But what I'm looking for when I'm doing this is how much your hips jut out when you land. Almost everybody, I should say, if I would just backtrack to this so I can explain it quickly. Um, Almost everybody that has knee problems, hip problems, ankle problems, Achilles problems, anything going on, it happens because of glute instability. And basically, when you land, your glutes can't stabilize your body weight. And you think about taking roughly 180 strides per minute over however many minutes you're going to run. Now all of a sudden you're talking about a lot of stabilization that your glutes have to do. And the easiest way, and the reason that I always shoot people from the back, is just so you can see how much that hip is jutting out and how much the deviation is, basically from horizontal as far as where your hips are dropping when you're actually running. And to be honest with you, you're pretty solid, where your hips don't actually move out too much. So you're good in that respect. And then we're just going to go on. We'll watch you in full speed here, and then I take you down to slow motion as well, where I'll point out some of the things that I'm looking at. Now, what I really want you to focus on here, and again, we talked about it today, is look how you're just reaching a little bit with that front leg, how it kind of snaps to straight, and it's just coming out a little bit in front of your center of mass of your body, where you're landing just a little bit out in front, landing a little bit on the heel. You see how it's kind of coming straight, straight, straight. So you're talking about a lot of impact forces actually on your body with a running style that's like that, where we need to try and improve your heel pickup and your turnover just a little bit more. So I've got a couple of still frames here that I just want to show you, and this is the first one because this is exactly what we are actually trying to cure, or we're trying to help out a little bit. You can see how this right leg is almost dead straight. You're coming down, you haven't quite hit the ground yet, but you would be heel striking on this stride. Way out, if I were to just, draw a line straight up here, well out in front of your center of gravity. So if you've ever heard people say putting the brakes on with each stride, that's effectively what is going on here. And when you're braking a little bit in each stride, to go back to one of your strengths is your strength. Now all of a sudden you have to look at, okay, if I'm going to put on the brakes a little bit with each stride here, now I need to compensate for that somehow. And the way that you compensate is by pushing off more in your run stride, which at the end of the day is going to be a big energy waster, and it's not necessarily going to be the most efficient way to run. So let's go on and let's just look at a picture-in-picture here, which is one of the things that we worked on today. So I hope you guys can see what I see in this, but when you stack two pictures, left and right here, so this first one is from when is from the first time that I actually videotaped you, and then this one here on the right is after we did about 45 minutes of drills. So the big thing that I see when I look at this, and again, it's subtle changes, it's a work in progress, and we only did things for about 45 minutes today, so the changes are subtle. But again, your whole foot is planted here, you're still a little bit out front in the center of gravity in the drills and pre-stride work. And then when you come over here, if you can notice that if you're drawing a straight line up, you're basically going through the front of your kneecap here. You've got a little bit more flex in the knee. You're leaning a little bit more forward, which is something you want to do when you're trying to increase stride rate. And the biggest thing that everybody should be able to notice here is actually what's going on with your right leg too. So here, when you're landed out in front of your center of gravity, this leg can get just a little bit long if you see it back here. And you can see the difference where you've got a little gap in between the knees right there, and you've got no gap here. So it just shows me that, with a little bit of lean, with some of the perception drills that we did to get you a little bit more on the balls of your feet, now all of a sudden you're getting that heel up a little bit faster. And by getting that heel up faster and by landing on the ball of your foot with a slight knee flex and a little lean going forward, now you're going to be able to turn it over a little bit more. Your cadence is going to be a little bit higher. Ultimately, your running times are going to be faster and you're going to expend less energy. So if you continue to focus on these things just a little bit each day, they'll become more second nature, and I guarantee you're going to be flying after that. So thank you for coming in and doing the assessment again, and you're a rock star for letting me put this out there. Have a good day.